The lobby of humiliation. The hotel lobby sparkled with polished marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and the soft hum of quiet luxury. Every corner screamed elegance, but for Maya Williams, it wasn't the marble that caught her attention. It was the looks. Those cold, judging eyes from behind the reception desk. She had walked into hundreds of hotels before, but never one where she owned every inch of it, and yet was treated like she didn't belong. The receptionist's smile froze halfway when Maya approached the counter. Her designer bag didn't seem to matter. Her confidence didn't matter. To them, she was just another black woman who couldn't possibly afford a room here. Maya Williams had worked her entire life for this moment. At only 31, she had gone from cleaning motel floors with her mother to building a small chain of boutique hotels across the country. But this was her biggest purchase yet. The Regal Crown Hotel is one of the most exclusive in the city. The paperwork was finalized only yesterday. The employees didn't know yet. Management hadn't officially announced the new owner. So today, she decided to walk in quietly. No entourage. No announcement. She wanted to see how her new staff treated their guests before she revealed who she was. The marble floor echoed under her heels as she approached the front desk. Behind it stood Emma, the head receptionist, young, blonde, perfectly poised, with a smile that melted into arrogance. Next to her was Jason, the assistant manager, who didn't bother hiding his irritation. "Good afternoon," Maya said warmly. "I'd like to book a suite for the night." Emma's eyes flicked up and down. Her tone was polite, but thin, like plastic. "I'm sorry, but we are fully booked tonight." Maya frowned slightly. "Fully booked? That's strange. I checked online. You still had availability." Jason stepped closer, resting one arm casually on the desk. "Maybe the website wasn't updated. This place fills up quickly." Maya stayed calm. "I see. Well, I don't mind waiting. Could you double-check, please?" Emma hesitated, then sighed as if Maya were wasting her time. She said quietly. "We don't have any rooms available. And even if we did, this hotel requires a certain kind of clientele." The words stung more than they should have. A certain kind of clientele. She knew exactly what that meant. For a few seconds, Maya said nothing. Her hand rested lightly on the counter. Inside, her chest tightened, but her face remained calm, professional. She looked around the lobby. A white couple just walked in behind her, dressed casually in jeans. Without even checking the system, Emma's smile brightened. "Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Regal Crown. Do you have a reservation?" Maya turned slightly. The couple shook their heads. "No, just hoping for a room." "Of course," Emma beamed. "Let me see what we can do." Maya's breath caught. Her jaw tightened. So they were fully booked until someone else walked in. Jason noticed her expression and leaned closer. "Look, it's nothing personal," he said, voice low. "But this isn't that kind of hotel. Maybe try the Grand in downtown. They might have affordable options." Maya's pulse slowed. She had heard that tone before. When she was 16, she was helping her mother clean rooms. When a guest once threw a towel at her and said, "Make sure it's spotless, girl." But she wasn't that girl anymore. She smiled slightly. "Oh, I see. So, no room for people like me." Emma stiffened. "That's not what I meant." Jason muttered, "Look, we are just following policy." Maya tilted her head, still composed. "Then maybe your policy needs to change." Before they could reply, a tall man in a dark suit entered the lobby. Mr. Grant, the general manager. He walked with confidence, shaking hands with guests, smiling for appearances. Emma called out, "Mr. Grant, this lady is insisting on a room, but we are at capacity." Grant gave Maya a polite glance, then a short smile that didn't reach his eyes. "I'm sorry, my staff already informed you. We are fully booked." "Are you?" Maya said softly, "Because they just offered a room to that couple right there." Grant glanced at the couple, his face tightening. Yes, well, they're members of our Platinum Guest Program." "I see," Maya replied evenly. "And how does one qualify for that?" Grant hesitated. Long-term loyalty. High-spending guests. Or, Maya said quietly, a certain skin color. For a second, silence cut through the lobby. Even the couple looked uncomfortable. Grant forced a chuckle. That's quite an accusation, Maya didn't back down. It's not an accusation. It's an observation. She gathered her purse, took a step back, and nodded slowly. Thank you for your time, Mr. Grant. I'll find somewhere else to stay tonight. As she turned to leave, Grant sighed in relief. Good idea, he muttered under his breath. But Maya heard it. Outside, the night air hit her like cold steel. She paused at the edge of the driveway, looking up at the glowing hotel sign. Her heart was heavy, but not from the insult. From the irony. They had no idea. Not a clue that tomorrow morning, when they walked into work, she would be their new boss. And she planned to teach them the lesson of a lifetime. The morning sun poured through the glass walls of the Grand Monarch Hotel, spreading a golden hue across the marble floor. It was a hotel known for its elegance and arrogance. Every staff member had been trained to spot the right kind of guest, and the wrong kind. As the valet rushed to park an imported car, a black woman stepped out of a modest sedan across the street. She was dressed in simple, elegant clothes, not flashy, not rich-looking, just calm. Her name was Maya Thompson. Her stride was confident, but her smile, faint and distant, hid a storm inside her. She had spent the last 3 years building something powerful, something that was going to change her life forever. But first, she wanted to see this place, the hotel that once humiliated her when she was young and struggling. She walked up to the front desk, where Rebecca, the blonde front manager, stood with her practiced corporate smile, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. Good morning, Maya said softly. I'd like a suite for 3 nights, please. Rebecca's gaze swept over Maya from head to toe, the plain dress, the small bag, the natural curls, the calm tone. Then came the pause, the judgmental pause. I'm sorry, Rebecca said with a rehearsed politeness. We are fully booked tonight. Maya's eyebrow lifted slightly. Fully booked. Rebecca nodded, already turning to her computer, pretending to check. Yes, every suite taken. It's Fashion Week in the city, you know. Lots of important guests. At that moment, a white couple walked in, laughing, talking loudly. They didn't even ask. Rebecca immediately greeted them. Welcome back, Mr. and Mrs. Langston. Your penthouse is ready, as usual. Maya watched silently, her calm face unreadable. Wait, she said quietly. You just said the hotel was full. Rebecca didn't look at her. Oh, well. We always make exceptions for our regulars. Maya tilted her head, the calm in her eyes slowly freezing into disappointment. She took a small breath. Is that so? Behind the desk, another clerk, James, a young man with kind eyes, watched nervously. He recognized Maya's face from somewhere, but he stayed silent. Rebecca leaned forward, lowering her voice. Look, maybe you'd be more comfortable somewhere. Affordable. There's a 3-star across the street. Great place, really. Her tone wasn't rude. It was condescending, laced with the subtle venom of someone who believed they were being helpful. Maya nodded slowly, as if letting the insult sink in. Then she smiled. A small, knowing smile. I see, she said. Thank you for your advice. She turned away, and as she did, her eyes flickered toward the gold plaque behind the counter. The Grand Monarch, excellence in hospitality. The irony almost made her laugh. A few minutes later, Maya stood outside the hotel, taking in the sight. The tall building gleamed in the sunlight, its flags fluttering proudly, a monument to arrogance. And yet, she owned it. Every inch of it. Every chandelier, every keycard, every paycheck in that building had her signature behind it. It was hers. Flashback to 5 years earlier, a rainy night, a tiny apartment, and a young Maya sitting by the window, staring at an eviction notice. She had once worked as a maid at that same hotel, scrubbing floors, carrying trays, cleaning up after people who never saw her as human. She was invisible, yet she remembered everything. The way managers like Rebecca spoke to her, the way guests tossed her tips like they were doing her a favor. But Maya was no ordinary maid. Every break she got, she would sit in the staff room, reading old management manuals, studying online courses on hotel administration, finance, and marketing. She was hungry for knowledge, hungry for change. And one day, when an old businessman she'd once served collapsed in the lobby, she saved his life with quick thinking and calm leadership. That man was Edward Brooks, a retired real estate investor, and he saw something rare in Maya. "Maya," he had said later, "you don't belong here cleaning rooms. You belong running them." The years that followed were a whirlwind: meetings, failures, long nights, and small victories. Maya worked her way through business courses, partnered with investors, and learned every secret of the hotel industry. When the Grand Monarch went bankrupt during a scandal, she quietly bought its parent company under a new holding name. And now, 5 years later, she was back. Maya looked back through the hotel glass, watching Rebecca laughing with the Langstons. She could have stormed in right then, revealed the truth, and fired everyone on the spot. But no, she wanted them to show who they truly were before she took off a mask. Her driver, Andre, approached her. "Everything all right, Ms. Thompson?" Maya's eyes never left the glass doors. "Perfectly all right," she said with a small smile. "Let's stay nearby for a while. I want to see how far this rabbit hole goes." Andre nodded, understanding that calm tone that often came before something powerful. Maya's eyes gleamed. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's when silence walks back into the room holding the keys. Inside, James leaned closer to Rebecca. "I think you made a mistake turning her away." Rebecca scoffed. "Please. She doesn't look like she can afford breakfast here, let alone a suite. I know people like her, all talk, no credit card." James frowned. "Still, you didn't check her ID or name. That's against policy." Rebecca waved her hand dismissively. "You're new here, James. Let me handle the guests. You just handle the luggage." James turned back to his desk, but his curiosity lingered. Where have I seen her before? Meanwhile, in a nearby cafe, Maya sat quietly with her tablet, reviewing the hotel's financial reports. She smiled at the irony. The same woman who refused her service today had her salary processed and approved by Maya herself. But something more than revenge was forming in Maya's mind. She didn't just want to humiliate Rebecca. She wanted to change how the entire staff treated people, to make them see what they had become. She took a deep breath and whispered to herself, "Time to remind them who runs this house." Later that evening, as the sun dipped low and the city lights flickered on, Maya made a call. "Tell the front desk," she said calmly. "The owner will be visiting tomorrow morning. No names. Just say the owner is arriving for an unscheduled inspection." Her assistant on the other end replied, "Understood, Ms. Thompson." She smiled. "Let's see how they handle that." The owner arrives. The next morning, the Grand Monarch Hotel buzzed like a disturbed beehive. Rumors flew faster than room service carts. "Did you hear? The new owner's coming today." Unannounced inspection. "Do we know who it is?" No one knew the name. No one even knew whether it was a man or a woman. All they knew was the owner. And that word alone was enough to make every manager polish their shoes twice and every staff member panic about yesterday's mistakes. Rebecca, the front desk manager, was in full command mode. Her voice snapped through the air like a whip. "People, listen up. I want perfection today. Floors spotless, uniforms ironed, smile sharp. We don't know who this new owner is, but they will notice everything. Got it?" "Yes, The staff chorused. Rebecca's assistant, a nervous young trainee, whispered, "Do you think the owner's from the corporate office?" Rebecca smirked. "Whoever it is, they'll see who runs this place. If I impress them, maybe I'll finally get promoted to regional management." She checked her reflection in the mirror behind the counter. Flawless makeup, hair perfect, and that same cold smile. But deep inside, her heart thudded. Because she remembered one thing. Last night, she had refused a guest. And what if that guest had connections? No, she told herself. Impossible. That woman didn't look important. Still, a small seed of unease took root in her chest. Meanwhile, A black luxury car pulled up outside the hotel entrance. The doorman rushed to open it, expecting a typical business executive in a suit or a foreign investor. But when Maya Thompson stepped out, the entire front lobby seemed to freeze for half a second. This time, she wasn't dressed simply. She wore a stunning cream blazer over a silk blouse, with subtle gold jewelry that gleamed under the morning light. Her heels clicked elegantly against the marble floor, confident, deliberate, powerful. The same woman who had been dismissed just yesterday now looked like she owned the world. Literally, she owned that world. Rebecca didn't recognize her immediately. She was too busy checking the front desk schedule. "Good morning," Maya said, her voice calm but commanding. Rebecca looked up, her smile automatic. "Welcome to the Grand Monarch Hotel. How can I assist you?" Maya tilted her head slightly. "Yesterday you told me you were fully booked. Remember?" Rebecca blinked, her smile faltering. I'm sorry, I don't quite remember." Maya's voice stayed steady, her gaze sharp. "You told me this place had no rooms available. Then you recommended a cheaper hotel." Rebecca's face went pale. I didn't mean to offend. It's just that." Maya raised a hand gently. "Relax. I'm not here to argue. I'm here for the inspection." Rebecca froze. "Inspection?" Maya smiled, a small, knowing curve of her lips. "Yes, I'm the owner." The words hit like a thunderclap. For a heartbeat, everything went silent, even the clicking of keyboards behind the desk. "The owner?" Rebecca whispered, her throat dry. "Yes." Maya's tone was calm but heavy with authority. "Maya Thompson, you can confirm that with the corporate office, or check your last payroll authorization." Behind the desk, James's eyes widened in shock. "That's why she looked familiar," he muttered to himself. Rebecca stumbled back, struggling to find words. "I had no idea. If I had known." Maya interrupted softly. "If you had known I was important, you'd have treated me differently. Is that it?" Rebecca swallowed hard. "I didn't mean." "Oh, but you did," Maya said, her voice calm as still water. "You meant every word. You judged me by my skin, by my clothes, by what you thought I could afford." A hush fell over the entire lobby. Even the bellboys stopped moving. Maya's words carried weight, not angry, but heavy with truth. James stepped forward nervously. "Ms. Thompson, I just want to say I thought I recognized you yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't speak up." Maya's gaze softened. "That's all right, James. You stayed respectful. That's all that matters." She turned to the rest of the staff. "Now, I'd like a full walkthrough of the hotel, every floor, every department, and I want everyone to continue their work. Pretend I'm not here. I want to see how you really run this place." Her tone was gentle but firm, commanding without shouting. Rebecca nodded quickly. "Of course, Ms. Thompson. Right away." But inside, she was falling apart. Her mind raced back to the moment she turned Maya away. The dismissive tone, the fake smile, the cheap suggestion to go somewhere affordable. And now, that same woman was her boss. As Maya began her inspection, whispers followed her like shadows. "That's the owner. She's the woman from yesterday." Did Rebecca really turn her away? Everywhere Maya walked, people straightened their backs, polished their behavior, and suddenly remembered every customer service line they'd ever learned. But Maya noticed everything: the forced smiles, the hidden fear, the sudden politeness. When she entered the staff room, a few housekeepers stared in disbelief. One older maid gasped, "Miss Maya? Is that you?" Maya smiled warmly. "Hello, Clara." Clara's eyes welled up. "I told them you'd make it one day." Maya touched her hand. "You were the one who taught me how to fold linens perfectly. Don't ever think I forgot." Clara smiled through tears, pride shining in her eyes. Hours passed. Maya inspected kitchens, offices, rooms, and staff behavior. She didn't yell or scold. She simply observed. Her calmness was more intimidating than any shouting could ever be. At the end of the day, she returned to the lobby, where Rebecca stood waiting nervously. "So, Maya said softly. Do you understand why I came unannounced? Rebecca nodded weakly. Yes, Good. Maya's tone remained cool. Because kindness isn't a performance. It's a habit. One you clearly need to relearn. Rebecca's eyes filled with tears. Please, Ms. Thompson. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. Maya sighed gently. Rebecca, I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to rebuild this hotel. But first, I need to clean it, not just the floors, but the attitude. Rebecca lowered her gaze. Yes, As Maya turned to leave, James approached her again. Ms. Thompson, if I may ask, what made you come back here? Maya paused, looking around the grand lobby, the place that had once broken her, and now bowed before her. Because, she said softly, I wanted to see if the people who once made me invisible had learned to see yet. James nodded slowly, understanding. Outside, as the sun dipped behind the city skyline, Maya took one last look at the hotel sign glowing proudly in gold. The Grand Monarch. She smiled to herself. Let's make this place truly grand, this time for everyone. The rebuild, power, pride, and pushback. The next morning, the Grand Monarch Hotel looked the same from the outside. Tall glass walls shining under the early sun. Luxury cars parked out front, and uniformed staff bustling about. But inside, something had changed. The air was tighter. The whispers were heavier. The mood was uncertain. Because now everyone knew who Maya Thompson really was. The woman they had refused service to. The woman they had underestimated. The woman who now owned them all. Maya arrived early, walking through the doors with calm authority. She didn't need to announce herself. Her presence alone drew eyes, straightened backs, and silenced chatter. She greeted the staff politely, but her eyes missed nothing. A maid rushing past. A bellboy avoiding eye contact. A manager whispering nervously. Maya smiled slightly. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're ready for a new chapter. Her voice was soft, yet everyone heard her. Later that morning, Maya gathered the staff in the main conference room. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Rebecca sat near the back, avoiding Maya's gaze. James stood beside the AV screen, nervous but eager. Even the senior executives, the same. People who once treated guests like royalty but staff like furniture, sat quietly now, their pride bruised. Maya walked to the front of the room, placed her tablet on the podium, and began speaking. Good morning. I won't take much of your time, but I'll take your full attention. Every eye turned toward her. You all know me as Maya Thompson, the woman who owns the Grand Monarch. But before that, she paused. I was just a woman looking for a room, and some of you decided I didn't deserve one. A murmur rippled through the room. Rebecca's heart sank further. I built this hotel with my sweat and my savings. But what truly hurt, Maya continued, her tone tightening, was realizing that some of you believe luxury belongs only to certain people. She took a deep breath. That changes today. Maya tapped the screen, and a new slogan appeared on the monitor behind her. Luxury is not about wealth. It's about respect. The room fell silent. We will start training sessions for every department, from front desk to housekeeping, from managers to executives. I want empathy, not excuses. I want service, not status. One of the senior executives, Mr. Douglas, frowned slightly. Ms. Thompson, with all due respect, we already provide luxury service. Our reviews are excellent. Maya turned to him, calm and unshaken. Luxury isn't a rating, Mr. Douglas. It's a feeling. And last night, I didn't feel welcome here. Did you? The man hesitated. No, Exactly, Maya said. And if I didn't, then how many others haven't? Her gaze swept across the room. We'll build a new kind of monarch. One that treats every guest like royalty, not just the ones who look the part. After the meeting, Rebecca approached Maya hesitantly. Ms. Thompson, I just wanted to apologize again. I know I messed up, and I truly want to make it right. Maya studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. Good. Prove it. Rebecca blinked. Prove it. Yes. You'll lead the first empathy training. You'll show your team what respect really looks like. And I'll be watching. Rebecca's stomach twisted. Me? But I. Maya interrupted softly. You can't lead with pride, Rebecca. But you can lead with growth. I believe people deserve second chances if they earn them. Rebecca nodded slowly, humbled and unsure. Yes, I'll do my best. I know you will, Maya replied, before walking away. Over the next few days, the hotel's rhythm began to shift. Training sessions started every morning. At 8 a.m., sessions Maya, personally designed. She talked about experience over appearance, about listening more than speaking, about making guests feel valued, not judged. And surprisingly, some of the staff began to change. The bellboys started greeting guests with genuine warmth. The kitchen team started offering special dishes to accommodate guests. Cultural preferences. Even the front desk, under Rebecca's cautious leadership, started to glow with professionalism instead of arrogance. Maya watched all of this quietly, taking notes, smiling occasionally when she saw true progress. But not everyone liked the change. In the upper office floor, a small group of managers gathered after hours. Douglas leaned against the glass wall, whispering bitterly. She's turning this place into a social experiment. A woman beside him frowned. She's making us look like fools in front of the staff. She's ruining our reputation, another added. You heard her. Luxury is respect. What kind of slogan is that? We are a 5-star hotel, not a charity. Douglas smirked. Don't worry. Let her play queen for a while. Sooner or later, she'll make one mistake. And when she does... He tapped his temple. We'll be ready. The others nodded silently. Little did Maya know, while she was building something good, others were quietly planning to tear it down. Meanwhile, Maya spent her evenings walking through the hotel floors, observing every corner. She found herself standing once again in the same hallway where she had been humiliated days ago. The memory was still sharp, the whispers, the stares, the cold dismissal. But now, she felt none of that pain. Only strength. Because this time, she wasn't just the woman standing at the front desk. She was the one running it. She smiled to herself, thinking of her late father, a construction worker who had once helped build this hotel's foundation. He'd told her, you might not have money yet, Maya, but you've got something better, dignity. And one day, people will see it. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away. She whispered softly, you were right, Dad. They see it now. Ms. Thompson, I just wanted to apologize again. I know I messed up, and I truly want to make it right. Maya studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. Good. Prove it. Rebecca blinked. Prove it. Yes. You'll lead the first empathy training. You'll show your team what respect really looks like. And I'll be watching. Rebecca's stomach twisted. Me? But I. Maya interrupted softly. You can't lead with pride, Rebecca. But you can lead with growth. I believe people deserve second chances if they earn them. Rebecca nodded slowly, humbled and unsure. Yes, I'll do my best. I know you will, Maya replied, before walking away. Over the next few days, the hotel's rhythm began to shift. Training sessions started every morning. At 8 a.m., sessions Maya, personally designed. She talked about experience over appearance, about listening more than speaking, about making guests feel valued, not judged. And surprisingly, some of the staff began to change. The bellboys started greeting guests with genuine warmth. The kitchen team started offering special dishes to accommodate guests. Cultural preferences. Even the front desk, under Rebecca's cautious leadership, started to glow with professionalism instead of arrogance. Maya watched all of this quietly, taking notes, smiling occasionally when she saw true progress. But not everyone liked the change. In the upper office floor, a small group of managers gathered after hours. Douglas leaned against the glass wall, whispering bitterly. She's turning this place into a social experiment. A woman beside him frowned. She's making us look like fools in front of the staff. She's ruining our reputation, another added. You heard her. Luxury is respect. What kind of slogan is that? We are a 5-star hotel, not a charity. Douglas smirked. Don't worry. Let her play queen for a while. Sooner or later, she'll make one mistake. And when she does... He tapped his temple. We'll be ready. The others nodded silently. Little did Maya know, while she was building something good, others were quietly planning to tear it down. Meanwhile, Maya spent her evenings walking through the hotel floors, observing every corner. She found herself standing once again in the same hallway where she had been humiliated days ago. The memory was still sharp, the whispers, the stares, the cold dismissal. But now, she felt none of that pain. Only strength. Because this time, she wasn't just the woman standing at the front desk. She was the one running it. She smiled to herself, thinking of her late father, a construction worker who had once helped build this hotel's foundation. He'd told her, "You might not have money yet, Maya, but you've got something better, dignity. And one day, people will see it." Tears welled up in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away. She whispered softly, "You were right, Dad. They see it now." As she prepared to head home, James approached her. "Ms. Thompson, the staff have started talking differently. There's respect now, not fear." Maya smiled gently. "That's good. Fear doesn't build loyalty. Respect does." James nodded. "You've changed this place already." Maya shook her head slightly. "Not yet. Change doesn't happen when people obey you. It happens when they believe in what you stand for. That's still ahead of us." But before she could continue, her phone buzzed. She looked down. A message appeared. "You don't belong here. Leave before it's too late." Maya's eyes narrowed. Someone was threatening her. She looked up toward the glass offices above the lobby, the same ones where the executives had been whispering. She straightened her shoulders. "If they think a text can scare me," she murmured, "they have no idea who they're dealing with." Her expression hardened, a quiet storm building behind her eyes. The battle for respect had only just begun. When truth finally speaks. Courtroom, morning. The grand courtroom echoed with murmurs as the judge entered. Henry stood tall in his modest suit, the same quiet strength in his eyes. On the other side, Sarah sat stiffly, her expensive outfit unable to hide the nervous tapping of her fingers. "Judge, order in the court." The hall fell silent. Papers rustled. The air was heavy with anticipation. Henry's lawyer rose first. "Your Honor, this is not just a case of wrongful termination. This is about a man who built the very foundation of that hotel, being humiliated by those who benefited from his work." He pointed toward the evidence board, pictures, employee statements, time-stamped videos showing Henry being thrown out of his own hotel. The judge nodded slightly, turning to Sarah's side. Her lawyer stammered, trying to defend her decisions. But her words fell flat. The evidence was clear. She had fired him without reason, lied to protect her ego, and denied the man who made that hotel possible. Sarah's eyes lowered as whispers spread across the room. The same staff who once laughed at Henry now avoided eye contact. Verdict announcement. The judge leaned forward, voice firm yet calm. After reviewing the testimonies, documents, and evidence, the court finds that Mr. Henry Wallace was wrongfully terminated and defamed by Ms. Sarah Thompson and her establishment. The gavel struck, bang, echoing like thunder. Henry closed his eyes for a moment, a deep breath escaping his chest. His lawyer placed a hand on his shoulder, smiling softly. "Judge, this court orders the hotel to reinstate Mr. Wallace's ownership rights and issue a public apology. Furthermore, compensation shall be awarded for the emotional and financial damage caused." A wave of gasps rippled through the courtroom. Sarah's face turned pale. She couldn't move. Her empire of arrogance had just collapsed in seconds. Outside the courthouse, afternoon. The heavy wooden doors swung open. Reporters rushed forward like a storm, flashes blinding the air. "Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace. How does it feel to win justice after all this?" Henry smiled humbly. "I didn't win alone. Truth did. You can take everything from a man, his job, his name, his peace, but you can't take away what's right." The crowd clapped lightly. Some people even teared up. watching the man who was once humiliated now walk with quiet dignity. In the distance, Sarah stood near her car, head lowered, unable to face him. She realized too late that her cruelty had destroyed her reputation, not his. Henry glanced at her briefly, not with anger, but calm pity. Then he turned and walked down the courthouse steps. The sun was bright, the wind light against his face. Each step echoed one truth: no one can silence integrity forever. The return of the Real owner. 1 year later, morning. A warm golden sunrise kissed the glass walls of the Grand Horizon Hotel. But something was different this time. At the entrance, the giant logo now read, "The Grand Horizon, rebuilt by Henry Wallace." A black luxury SUV stopped in front. The door opened slowly. Henry stepped out, wearing a fine tailored suit. Calm and graceful, yet his eyes still carried the same honesty he had as a mechanic. The doorman, a new recruit, quickly stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Good morning, sir." Henry smiled. "Good morning. How's everything running today?" The doorman, "Perfectly, sir. Staff are motivated, guests are happy, and our reviews are through the roof." Henry nodded proudly and entered the lobby. Hotel lobby. Inside, everything gleamed: white marble floors, crystal lights, and elegant music in the air. But what stood out wasn't the decor, it was the staff's energy. Everyone smiled, greeted one another, and respected their guests. Henry walked through the same lobby where he was once humiliated and thrown out. The memories flashed for a moment: Sarah's angry voice, the security guards dragging him away. He paused near the front desk. A young woman was assisting an elderly couple. She looked nervous but gentle. The woman smiled and said, "Take your time, dear." Henry watched silently and smiled. He whispered, "That's how you treat people. With kindness." Private office. He entered his office, once Sarah's domain, now filled with sunlight. On the wall hung a framed quote: "Success isn't about owning property, it's about earning respect." He sat at his desk, looking at an old, worn photo of himself standing beside his first car garage. Next to it, a new picture, him cutting the ribbon at his hotel reopening. Henry leaned back and said softly, "Sometimes, losing everything is the only way to find yourself again." He picked up a letter from the table. It was an apology letter from Sarah herself. She had left the city after the trial, her reputation shattered. The letter simply said, "I was wrong. You built something far greater than a hotel. You built dignity. I hope one day I can do the same." Henry placed the letter down gently and smiled, not with pride, but peace. Hotel balcony, sunset. He stepped out onto the grand balcony overlooking the city. The golden sunset painted the skyline in orange and purple. Guests laughed below, families checked in, and staff worked happily. Henry took a deep breath, the sound of laughter echoing around him. "This," he said softly, "is what I always dreamed of, a place where everyone feels welcome." He looked up at the sky, whispered, "Mom, I did it." The camera slowly panned upward, the hotel glowing in the sunset, the words Grand Horizon shining bright. Then, fade out. They refused her a room, but fate built her a kingdom. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and share it with someone who believes in treating people with respect. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring real-life stories, because every story deserves to be heard.